Well, we're up at the start for a heat of the Prince Albert Challenge Cup. That's the University Fours. These are Coxed boats. And we have Exeter University in their green and white colours at the top of your picture. And closest to you are the men from University of Pennsylvania, USA, the Quakers, they call themselves. And you see them driving off the start there. That's the stroke of the Exeter crew, Josh Braithwaite, 19-year-old in the stroke seat. And at the moment, Pennsylvania look to have a handy little lead. Andrew Kelly, 21 years of age, third in the 2018 Eastern Sprints, 7th seat in the Varsity 8, so it's a pretty strong crew, this University of Pennsylvania 4. And there we look at the Exeter crew, and there you can see University of Pennsylvania right out. I mean, they're coming off the end of the island, Rebecca, and they've got nearly a length from their rivals from Exeter.
Yeah, I was talking to the Exeter coach earlier, Richard Tinkler, and he tells me this is a young crew. A couple of them only started rowing back in October, so they're very early in their rowing careers. Good to get them qualified, though, and racing at Henley early in your racing career, because every bit of experience will help them as they move into the next and subsequent seasons.
So let's give a name check to these boys. Josh Braithwaite, closest to you. James Doran, the big man, 1m99, nearly 2 meters tall. James Beattie behind him, the 20-year-old in the 2 seat. And Sebastian Thierry in the bow seat, just 21 years of age. Not really a match-up for this Pennsylvania crew. University of Pennsylvania, big P on their shirts. You couldn't mistake them anyway, could you?
I do like the American uniforms. They are distinctive and extremely different from anything we see here in the UK.
Yeah, pretty simple. P. Where do we come from? University of Pennsylvania. Absolutely the case.
You get a Y for Yale, don't you? We've been given some background information about the Penn crew, and we were told that the Penn lightweights won the Thames Challenge Cup in 1951 and 1952. So that was back in the day, and they were lightweights. And of course, lightweight rowing really wasn't getting going internationally at that stage. So it's great that they've come back, but this is a reasonably new entry. They've never been in the Prince Albert before. So welcome, Pennsylvania. It's great to have you here.
Decent shout, isn't it? And furthest away from you can just see his head in the bow seat, Vincent Mehta. It's his first time competing at the Henley Regatta. Started rowing in high school and used to be a basketball player, but thinks he's found his home now in this sport. And says his biggest rowing accomplishment, I love this actually, is being a Snapchat filter from a crash at the Charles River, I guess.
Head of the Charles,
Head of the Charles, yeah, that fantastic race on the Charles in Boston. So let's just check this race. You're watching a heat of the Prince Albert Challenge Cup. On the left of your picture, it's the men from University of Pennsylvania, average age of about 21 years. And on the right of your picture in the green and white, it's the men from Exeter University, slightly younger crew, average of just 20 years of age. And Pennsylvania just cleared out from Exeter on the start, and I really thought they were going to dominate this race, Rebecca. And I think I was pretty wrong on that, because Exeter have really stuck to their guns, and they've even got a decent overlap. You can see the bows of the Exeter boat on the right of on the bottom of your shot now as the drone flies over them, and they're just edging up the well, they're probably level with stroke or 3 in the Pennsylvania crew, and that's going to be an extremely rewarding sight for their female coxswain Larissa Kulfas and Sophie Figueiredo, Sophie Figueiredo, the cox of the Exeter boat, is going to be really thinking, right, okay boys, you've got this race won, you've got enough distance, if you keep moving like that you can come back.
There's often a decisive point in a race where someone makes a move, and certainly I can see the Pennsylvania crew who've taken their rate up. You do more strokes a minute, you usually move your boat a bit faster, and yet Exeter are looking confident. They're not rushing, they've got a good stroke rate, and they're clearly moving the boat pretty efficiently. Coxswain there just looking over to her right just to check where they're at.
Sophie Figueiredo, first year competing at Henley, just took up coxing 2 years ago, and she says this squad is the best it's ever been, and she's excited. A second year history student at the University of Exeter, And, well, they did start to move back on the Quakers, the men from University of Pennsylvania, but the UPenn crew has checked that move now, and I'd say it looks, barring accidents, that Pennsylvania are going to walk away with this heat of the Prince Albert Challenge Cup for University Cox 4s.
Yeah, that extra couple of points in rate that they put in the push clearly refocused the crew, got them moving again. It's quite hard if you're in a bow Cox 4 for the coxswain, if you're ahead, to actually see what's happening, because the other crew is behind you and you're lying down, so looking across and over your shoulder can be a little bit of a challenge.
Yeah, but you know, these coxes have it easy, don't they? If that's all they've got to do, you know, I mean, come on, the rowers are doing the work.
Us rowers, Martin, you know.
Exeter, I think, coming back into it, Rebecca, as we talk. Exeter, the crew in green on the right of the screen. University of Pennsylvania, I was writing Exeter off, but they've had a fantastic burst just coming into the last 400 metres or so of this race. There's plenty of water left as I look out from our commentary position. Crew of Exeter have taken the lead. What a fantastic move that was, Rebecca.
Yeah, quick glance over his shoulder by Nicholas Hutchins, the three-seat in the University of Pennsylvania crew. He can see that he is now behind the equivalent three-man in the Exeter crew. Exeter are definitely getting the bit between their teeth. I can see the coxswain calling them up.
Of course, the difference with these guys from University of Pennsylvania and Exeter is the UPenn guys are lightweights. They came fourth in the lightweight Cox 4s at the IRAs, and of course the men from Exeter at 75, 85, 99 kilos, James Doran in the three-seat, and 85 kilos from the stroke Josh Braithwaite, had that little bit more muscle, and perhaps that's what they've used in the last part of this race. I thought with a tailwind it would suit the lightweights, but no, Exeter out in front and trucking.
And the crowd are loving it. It's getting really good response, cheering on the Exeter crew. The Pennsylvania crew seem to have lost their mojo a little bit. The boat's rocking around, despite the coxswain making some really strong calls. They're really not closing the gap, but Exeter taking it up as they come down the enclosures.
So the 21-year-old coxswain, Sophie Figueiredo, is urging her crew on as they come up to the finish line. It's a first Henley. It's going to be a win, first Henley race. A race you'll never forget, rowing through the University of Pennsylvania, who led this race for a substantial part of the distance. Exeter come up and take the victory in this heat of the Prince Albert Challenge Cup. A great result, very, very mature rowing from the Exeter University students. Pennsylvania crossed the line, dejected, the heads go down. And you can see what it meant. Look at the bulk of that lad, James Doran, in the three-seat. You know, nearly 2 metres and 100 kilos. That power came very handy in the second part of the race.
All right, stop it, ready, go.